Welcome to part 8 on this multi-part series on how I created this image. This part will be on how I gained the image back using pastel. Okay, I did a little bit more to this. I kind of changed the colors in here from the last time that you saw it. But now I'm in my studio where I'm going to work with my pastels. And the pastels I'm going to use as a different texture. It creates a different texture, but it also allows me to apply some drawing, go back with some drawing as we had done on this one, right? This original drawing, and start bringing this image out. Remember, we destroyed the image. We kind of add a lot of texture to the image. Now it's time to see what we can do as far as bringing that image back out. So we wanted to be very loose originally, but now we want to go back and we want to restructure the image. So I'm going to put some lines in here just to kind of guide me along, using the what I had done before. And I'm just really, it's just this idea of mixed media. Okay, I think that's helpful. I really like this negative space in here, and I want to pull that out. Kind of lost that when we did the more destructive technique. There's also really nice negative space in here as well. So, all right, let's see. I like always going from light to dark, or I'm sorry, dark to light. So let's put in some. Let's put in some darks. All right, I'm going to work with the negative space in here. So let's see if I could find a pastel that kind of matches. There's a nice yellow. Sometimes it's better to actually work with negative space around your image than actually working with a positive space. This area really got messed up. Now, after this, I'm going to go and add some acrylic. So this is just the first part of bringing this image back out. And I love drawing. This gives me a little bit more control. Well, actually, it gives me a lot more control than what we did just before this. And that's on purpose. With pastels, you have to just kind of do a mark and see if it matches. the paper. Let's find some middle tone green. What do I got here? There we go. We have our pads. Oh, this green really is a nice green. That's working very nicely. Notice how I spread it all over. I'm going to use a more saturated green for the moss. Let's bring out some dark browns in the trunk area. Trunk kind of comes down, the roots in this area. I'm going to break that up with a little bit of the red. Not a lot. Doesn't need a lot. Let's get back to the green. Green, or maybe I should pull some of this color into here as a light. What is this? Yeah, that's very close. Yeah. See how it looks like it's reflecting off of the light source in here? That's how you're being sensitive. You're responding to the artwork that you're doing. That's what the idea is. When I'm bringing it back to life, but it's full of interest and texture, makes it a very interesting motif. Maybe that was a little bit too much. I can always just kind of get rid of it. Really like it over here, not necessarily over here. I think over here, I'm going to try to use a little bit more saturated green. Just to distinguish right from left. In this case, left to right. Yeah, put a little bit more over here of the more saturated type green and the light. Just make it a little bit different over here. Well, that's bringing it back nicely. I think I need something kind of dark in here, though. Yeah, let's define this trunk a little bit better. And then bring that green up into it. And so the roots are clinging on. Decision. Do I like this? I'm sure I like it. And I think this is too low. This needs to be higher. So let's make this higher. And let's see if we can kind of rid ourselves of that. So I'll just try to use the same pattern that we did with the stencil in this area. And then when I use this one, I'm going to go up into the image. When you do something like this, it's kind of a, they do it in landscape where you call it a passage. You're basically drawing into it so the eye will move into it. It creates a little ambiguity when it comes to distance. I want this to be in the back. I want this to come forward. You see, I'm really getting away from my original sketch too. Here's the original sketch. This is this. This is the original tree. You see there? Some of the stuff in here though I really like. We kind of lost that there. See this negative space here and the negative space there? That's real nice. Kind of lost in here. So let's try to pull that back. It's not the same. It's not supposed to be the same. I'm using the photo as an inspiration, not to copy it. Find my own way through this. Oh, that's much better. I think this nice green over here could be real beneficial, like that. But even in nature, warm, cool, warm, cool. See it even in the most natural setting. One of the things that they like to do is add different kinds of moss when you're displaying your tree, just to give you that lumpy, bumpy, and different, warm and cool. Warm and cool. I'm coming much more of a kind of a method like that, but I want to bring this up and around. See, I'm pulling kind of that color down in here. And I can also do that painting wise. I'm going to pull some of it up in here, so it's not just alone down there. Okay, looks like I had a little technical difficulties in the filming of this. I apologize that my head kept getting in the way, so I've tried to change the angle of this so that doesn't happen again. Again, I apologize for that. The other is I lost sound and at the end of it. So what I'll do is I'll try to recap what I had done. I worked on the area of the tree itself and then worked on the area of the pot. Now what I wanted to do was to start working around it, particularly in these negative areas. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of put some marks in here to highlight that area, interplaying between the lighter, the yellow, and exchanging those complements, the stuff that we had looked at the beginning of making this painting, because you can see that all the work that we had done in the beginning is helping us determine on what we want to do at the end of this painting. And so I'm just basically trying to clean up that, do a variety of values, get some motion going on in here. And you can play with this forever and make this better and better. But, you know, I'm pretty close to what I wanted to do. What I also did is I spent some time working on this area too, where I was looking at reproducing the mark making that was already on here from the stenciling, and creating that mark making, rehatching that mark making and bringing that down into the kanji area as well. See what I can do to kind of even out the value, so that when you squint your eye, it kind of disappears. That's sort of the one of the tests, is squinting your eye. Okay, I think that's enough of what we want when it comes to the overall image and the mark making that I wanted to impose using pastels. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fixative it so that it doesn't smear. But there is actually one additional thing I want to do. I want to do some drawing. If we notice on the other drawing, we had these expressions of branches coming out here. And in the original photo, you don't really have that, but you kind of have an indication of that. But I want to add that because that adds motion and energy to the tree itself. So let's see if we can do that. I'm going to reinforce the pot a little bit here. Also, I noticed when you can just work this forever and ever. I noticed that I pulled in a little bit there. I kind of like that idea. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that here. Just a mark like that. That's pretty much it. Okay, that's it for now. Like I said, I'm going to fixative this. And then when I'm done fixative, I'm going to go back to the acrylics and I'm going to paint and dial it in. I'm going to put it up on a stand and I'm going to look at it for a couple of days and really kind of absorb what I got here and possibly take notes of what I want to do to dial this in. Hope you enjoyed that. Part 9 will be on how I use acrylics now to paint a little bit more detail, to bring the image back even more, as well as work on the background. I'd really appreciate a like and subscribing to my channel, as well as if you would like to support me, you can do that on Patreon. I often post on Instagram my artwork as well as bonsai work. But I'd like to leave you with the idea that art is a journey. It's important to enjoy the process.